Hello, this is Sudarshana Starshine Star, and I'm very happy to be with you all today on this beautiful Friday. It's February 7th, and it's 2025. I like to start all of my clips with the three opening prayers. They're in Sanskrit and Telugu, and they're short, and this is to bless and purify, uplift, and protect you, me, and this clip. It's going to be the Guru Mantra, the Ganesha Mantra, and the Gayatri Mantra. Om, Om, Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmahi Sri Guruve Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnum Sishivarnam Chatubhujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vignopashante. Om Bhurabhuva Suvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Wonderful. It's been a while since I've been able to post anything on this YouTube channel. I had promised that a part 2 of my LA Fire series will be coming out, and I have it all ready to go. It's not recorded yet. I haven't been able to record it. And I know now most of you probably know a lot about what I wanted to say in that. But I think after I record this, I'm going to have to record that just to, number one, keep my word, because I said I would have a part 2. And also to just have it there for posterity. And there might be something in there that is important to hear, because I do have a little bit of a twist on my communications about that, along with a lot of factual truths that need to be known. So, let's see what I wanted to say. Yeah, I really appreciate if you could like and share this clip and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not watching it on my YouTube channel, which you probably are because almost all my social medias have been destroyed at this point, but my main YouTube channel is called It's the Dazzling of the Light, or you can just go to YouTube and type in at Sudarshana Starshine Star. But I'm also asking now for people to go right now, please, if you could, after you listen to this clip, or right now to do it and to pause, because I really want to be able to direct you to one of my backup YouTube channels, just in case this one isn't around. And I have a backup channel called the same thing. It's the Dazzling of the Light. But you can go to YouTube and type in at Sudarshana Starshine Star 99. So that will bring you to that site. I have really, since I got completely cut off of X on January 21st, 2021. And so I just had my things all zeroed out, all my followers zeroed out, all my picture of Jesus, which was there, stolen, wiped out at that time, Twitter. And so I just disregarded it. And it was only recently that I went back and I went on X. And I've just been more on that channel now because of all my, like I said, if you read in the description, I had my 4th TikTok channel in as little as 11 months in late November, abolished, wiped out. I had to keep rebuilding my TikTok channels over and over and over again. So that was very disappointing because I like TikTok, but we'll see what happens after this 75-day probation period is over. I hope that we still have TikTok around because I do like it, but I don't feel like creating another channel there and putting all my blood, sweat, and tears and all my love and efforts into that. Because it's a lot of work for me, because TikTok doesn't allow me to post videos like most social medias, like my Instagram that I used to have until a few weeks ago. Right after I start these channels, I'm not allowed what they call privileges. I'm not allowed to post videos or anything like that. So I have to screenshot things and do a lot of things. It's a laborious process, but I do it with love, and I've really enjoyed it. I haven't enjoyed the censorship, though. my Instagram channel, although it wasn't large. It was growing a lot because I was focusing more on it after my 4th TikTok channel got wiped. And it was having 1.1 million views steadily, like every month. I was having so many views on it. It wasn't even a big channel. And just one of my clips that started it, the ball rolling, had it was like 1,200,000 or something, and it was growing views, and it just kept going on and on. I had many clips with several 100,000 views on it. So that was bringing a lot of traffic. But Instagram, just a few weeks ago, did the very sneaky thing where they said, oh, you're having so many views and we have to protect you. So we have to use an account double verification process for you. So please. And they didn't allow me any choice about it. I couldn't go on Instagram till I played this game. And they kept saying, we're sending you a code. And they would send a code to one of my emails or whatever. And I would input it perfectly, and then they would say, that's an invalid code, please try again in 59 minutes. So this process went on for the better of one afternoon until the next day that Instagram account didn't exist anymore. I have a backup there that has like hardly a few posts on it and just nothing on it. And once again, my enthusiasm and inspiration for building that right now is very low. So I don't want to make you listen to all of this, but it has been pretty challenging all these years to get out truth. And I'm a master spiritual teacher and a soul healer. And I also get anything that I post about real spirituality or anything that's connected also with Yeshua and the Marys. It gets, has been really censored. And it's just pretty obnoxious, to be clear with you. It's just obvious that anything truthful on any front hasn't been welcomed. But the times, they are a-changing. So please go to that backup account on YouTube. And on X, like I said, did I already say it? I don't think I said it. Let me say it. I'm on X at Sudarshana Starshine Star 99. So you can find me on X there. And I am on Truth Social, but that's really more of a site for just, catching up on news and stuff. It's not really the same as the other socials. Anyway, let's get started here. First, I want to say that it was very sad on Tuesday. I want to just say prayers and give out blessings for what happened in the Congo, where at least 165 women were raped by male inmates after a mass breakout from a prison in the Democratic Republic of Congo. After the fighters from the Rwanda-backed M23 rebel group advanced toward the eastern city of Goma, spelled Goma, the inmates at the Muzenze prison took advantage of the chaos and started to escape on January 27th. And then in a video posted on X, and it's been verified by various news outlets, it's very sad. Hundreds of people were seen to be escaping from the prison, men escaping as plumes of black smoke billowing nearby and what sounded like gunshots were ringing out. So what they did is the male inmates started to escape and pour out, and they went over into the side that were housing women, the female inmates, along with some children of the female inmates, and hundreds of women were raped, and then they were all burned alive. The men set that women's part of the prison on fire, along with the children that were in there. They all died. And there's no description for horrors like this. There's no words for tragedies like this. So I just wanted to begin this by saying, God bless all the souls of all those beings, including the perpetrators, because I pray for all souls in all worlds. I pray for redemption of all souls, but it's just so beyond tragic that happened. And I also want to give an acknowledgement of what happened on forgive my pronunciation, in Orebro, Sweden, Orebro, a few days ago, where just a random, or they're calling it, as we know, they're usually not random, gunmen opened fire at an adult education center on Tuesday and injured a lot of people, but killed at least 10 people. And that was the worst mass SHOOTING in Swedish history. And the perpetrator is unalived, but they're not releasing the identity. It's just very sad. So God bless all those people in Sweden. God bless all the souls. God bless everyone. Huge prayers for all the souls. All right. U.S. aid, USAID is a hot topic, and I have a lot of stuff to share about that from the wonderful Senator Kennedy, who's acerbic, wonderful, humorous, straight to the point, truthful, and amazing. Although, and I will talk about this if I have time a little bit more at the end of this clip. As you can see, that's a face mask. So who is really playing that Senator Kennedy? I don't know, but I do know that that is a face mask. I've seen up close the inhuman wrinkles on it, and there's a lot of characters being played here by the white hats, and you don't know who they really are. And I don't know if we'll ever know, but those who have eyes to see shall see. Those who have ears to hear shall hear. You have to pay attention to it. All right. Senator Kennedy talking about USAID. He said what Elon Musk at Doge has found. This is Senator Kennedy talking. What the hell happened to all the money? He discovered that the American taxpayers are giving money to Afghanistan, Yemen, Syria. The USAID has 10,000 people, and every year they give away $40 billion. He found that the USAID gave money to support electric vehicles in Vietnam. They spent $164 million to support radical organizations around the world. They gave $122 million of that to groups aligned with foreign terrorist organizations. He found that USAID gave $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. And USAID gave $20 million to produce a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. Gave $10 million of meals to an Al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group called the Nusra Front. And USAID took $8 million and gave it to a bunch of journalists in Sri Lanka to teach them how to avoid binary gendered language. And Senator Kennedy says, I don't know what the hell binary gendered language is. And USAID gave $1.5 million to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem. Yeah, explain that. Here's some more. I mean, there's a lot more, but here's just a few. USAID gave money to a transgender clinic in India. They gave $1.5 million to a Serbian LGBTQ group. They got $1.5 million to, quote, advance diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI, in Serbia's workplaces and business communities. And also, according to this report by Mr. Musk, as Senator Kennedy says, the USAID has given millions of dollars to, quote, organizations in Gaza controlled by Hamas. Isn't that interesting? USAID gave $1.5 million to promote LGBT advocacy in Jamaica. They gave $1.5 million for, quote, art for inclusion of people with disabilities in Belarus. Another $3.9 million for LGBT causes in Macedonia. And $8.3 million for equity and inclusion education in Nepal. Yes, because the Nepalese really need to have DEI, don't they? That's such an important thing. $8.3 million for that. And then a good quote from a World Hall of Fun, a blue checkmark account verified on Twitter, said, I found out that USAID has been giving money to support the World Economic Forum, WEF. Why is the American taxpayer funding the WEF when everyone that arrives there lands in a private jet? Good question. So back to Senator Kennedy. He says, I could go on all night, and many of my colleagues are upset. They're really, really mad at Mr. Musk. Hell, I think we ought to give him a medal. We ought to be on the floor of this United States Senate thanking Mr. Musk. And I concur to infinity. To infinity. All right, back to Senator Kennedy. He's saying, and he said this on February 5th, 2025, I'm just shocked that my colleagues here have decided that this is the hill they are going to die on. How can you look the American people in the eye and support this kind of waste? The American people are sick and tired of people in Washington denying reality. And then Doge by AG staff, published on February 6th, yesterday, 2025. USAID, U.S. government, now largest public donor to independent media development globally. The U.S. Agency for International Development, which is what USAID is, or was, has been quietly sending U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund thousands of ostensibly, quote, independent, end quote, journalists, media NGOs, that's non-profit organizations, non-government organizations that steal so much money, oh my gosh, and media outlets worldwide. In a post on X, WikiLeaks cited a USAID fact sheet, which has now been taken offline, that states in 2023, the agency funded training and support for 6,200 journalists, assisted 707 non-state news outlets, and supported 279 media non-governmental organizations, NGOs. This included sending U.S. taxpayer money to Ukraine, where 9 out of 10 media outlets rely on international aid, with the majority of that funding coming from USAID. Elon said USAID was funding over 6,200 journalists across 707 media outlets and 279 media NGOs, including 9 out of 10 media outlets in Ukraine. The U.S. government is now the largest public donor to independent media development globally. Supporting independent media has been part of USAID's democracy and governance assistance effort since the 1980s. Yep, controlling everything that most people watch, see, hear, listen to, believe. What a show it is. What a propaganda, evil show it is. Now, I like this. Cat Whisperer 777, a blue check account verified on X, reposted Daniel Menchaca, who wrote D.O.G.E. Doge stands for, he said it stands for Demon Rats Officially Getting Exposed. And isn't that the truth? Even though, of course, we have to include in that rhinos, the fake Republicans, and the filthiness of Washington, D.C., as it has been for so long. So Donald J. Trump, at Real Donald Trump on X, President Trump, said looks like billions of dollars have been stolen at USAID and other agencies, much of it going to fake news media as a payoff for creating good stories about the Democrats. The left-wing rag known as Politico seems to have received $8 million. Did the New York Times receive money? Who else did? This could be the biggest scandal of them all, perhaps the biggest in history. The Democrats can't hide from this one. Too big, too dirty. And that's exactly right. Also, this is just a note. The Doge investigation confirms that the CIA ran multiple coup attempts against President Trump's first administration using USAID. It's a beautiful slush fund of hideous corruption and filth, isn't it? All right, from the Epoch Times on February 6, 2025, lawmakers seek to ban K-12 schools from accepting funds from China. The Chinese Communist Party's attempts to interfere with our curriculum and students is a direct threat to our national security, Representative Dave Joyce said. And I'm saying on a side note what we found out. Now, the Chinese Communist Party, this is not the people of China. I'm for we, the people of this earth, and all of us have been completely tricked, indoctrinated, stolen from, enslaved by our hideous, satanic, pedophilic governments. And that's what's really coming to light right now in a huge way for most people who didn't know it. And the Chinese Communist Party They just imported, like most of the clothing that we have in America has poisons in the clothing. They're not supposed to be worn on human flesh. Poisons in our food, in our vitamins, in our, I'm just going to say, because I can't say the word, pills, that you take when you're not feeling well. In sporting goods and cookware and bakeware and kitchen utensils, other kitchen items and bath items and your bed comforters, pillows, sheets, your towels, your kids' toys, all that kind of stuff. It's all has GRAPHENE, second word, oxide in it, among other things that humans are not supposed to be wearing, touching, consuming, having around, and it's got to stop. As well as, all of our Apple's iPhones, they were, made in China, and as they were made, they were automatically given the Chinese Communist Party backdoors into all of our phones, so they already had entrance into all of our data and everything, and that's come out now too. All right, so I'm skipping around to different things I just wanted to bring to light here in this clip. So Shadow of Ezra 17 on X, at Shadow of Ezra is a verified checkmark account. Michelle Obama's former policy director, Krish Vignarajah, received over $100 million in 2023 from the government to facilitate the trafficking of people, including children, into the U.S. under the pretense of refugee assistance. Vignarajah also served as a senior advisor to the State Department under Hillary Clinton, where she helped develop policies that reportedly aided in trafficking individuals across the border. So much still has to come out more. The people that don't understand the glue that has held all of our filthy, satanic governments together has involved children, in a very real way. And this has gone back. This isn't new. It's past. It's beyond government. It's gone on for thousands of years. And people that don't know that, you can go look to my controller series on my YouTube channel. You can find out more about it. I have still a lot more to say here, but it's way past time for people to become aware of that. It's not rare. It's been very common. It's been hidden, and it's huge. It's the hugest topic that there is, honestly. All right, so then something from yesterday, February 6, 2025, AG by Deborah Hine, spelled Heine. President Trump announces new presidential task force to halt anti-Christian targeting and discrimination within the federal government. The president delivered remarks at two events in Washington, D.C. Thursday morning, surrounded by the National Prayer Breakfast. It's going to be a very big deal, Trump promised at the second event at the Washington Hilton. Unfortunately, in recent years, we've seen the sacred liberty threatened like never before in American history. On January 24th, Trump issued pardons for 23 pro-life protesters who were in jail for violating the Federal Freedom of Access to Clinics, called the FACE Act. Most of us would not have believed it possible that a grandmother with a severe medical condition would be put in jail for praying here in America, the president said. Trump described how one of the prayer breakfast attendees, Paulette Harlow, was arrested for peacefully praying outside of a clinic, charged under an obscure law that hadn't been used in years and had been selectively weaponized against Christians by the previous administration. Harlow, 75, was sentenced in May 2024 to 24 months in prison following her convictions for federal conspiracy against rights and freedom to access to clinic entrances from the FACE Act. Quote, offenses, end quote, in connection with the pro-life group's blockade of a Washington, D.C. area ABORTIONS clinic on October 22, 2020, according to the Biden Justice Department. According to Trump, the bias didn't stop with Biden's anti-Christian prosecutors. At her sentencing, the judge mocked Paulette's Christian faith. He recounted, "They were terrible. They were terrible to you, and they were to people of all religions," he exclaimed. Trump said it was his honor to grant Paulette and the other persecuted Christians all full and unconditional pardons. The president added that what happened to the elderly pro-life grandmother must never happen again in America. Trump said he will sign an executive order later today to create a task force headed by Attorney General Pam Bondi to eradicate anti-Christian bias in the U.S. government. The mission of this task force will be to immediately halt all forms of anti-Christian targeting and discrimination within the federal government, Trump explained, including at the DOJ, which was absolutely terrible, the IRS, the FBI, terrible. Trump added that the task force will also focus on anti-Christian violence and vandalism in America, which spiked during the Biden years and went mostly unpunished. The president promised that his administration will move heaven and earth to defend the rights of Christians and religious believers nationwide. This is a very powerful document I'm signing, he added. If we don't have religious liberty, we don't have a free country. We probably don't have a country. Trump announced that he was also creating a White House faith office. The new office will work to protect Christians in our schools, in our military, in our government, in our workplaces, hospitals, in our public squares, and we will bring our country back together as one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. Hear, hear. No more Satanism. Sorry, Satanists, your evil party time is over. And from the Gateway Pundit on February 6th, 2025, unveiled hypocrisy. Nasty bishop who chastised Trump's immigration policies revealed to have pocketed $53 million in taxpayer money. Bishop Marian Edgar Budd, who is a man, pretending to be a female. Bishop Marian Edgar Budd, and who is satanic, was wearing, when I watched that service on the national, in the National Cathedral, which was right after President Trump's inauguration, which was supposed to be a blessing, and that man, Bishop Marian Edgar Budd, wearing on his white robes badges, which if you looked at them and paid attention to them, they're the same satanic flags and badges that you see at the satanic Vatican, that the Pope and other cardinals and other bishops, etc., wear. They proclaim their faith, that they worship Satan, that they're satanic, no matter what they pretend to be worshiping. And this trans woman, this man, Bishop Marian Edgar Budd, with the Lutheran ministries and Episcopalian ministries, along with Catholic ministries, have just recently been revealed to be stealing billions and billions and billions from American taxpayer monies. Of course, under NGOs, they pretend that it's charity, and they just really steal it, divert it, slice up the pie. And it's a huge sex trafficking, huge human trafficking, live organ donors, hellscape, criminal, psychotic operations come out of this. These quote-unquote charities are receiving illicit funds through NGOs directly or indirectly, and they're smuggling. They're smuggling immigrants. They smuggle kids. They pay to keep the borders open. All this is of a piece. So the Bishop Marian Edgar Budd is not pleased right now. Not only did he expose himself with his nonsense, he's been caught, and in 1 year got $53 million. And that was supposedly that money supposedly the Episcopalian Migration Ministry, or the EMM, supposedly is paid to bring in people in resettlement programs, they call it. And EMM, under, this bishop, acquired $53 million from the government programs to resettle 3,600 individuals. Wow, 3,600 individuals, and they needed $53 million. I believe that. Follow the money, as always, folks. Follow the money and follow the satanic ideology, and you get to the root of the matter. All right. This is a great thing from Ron Paul at Ron Paul on X, a checkmark verified account. He says, audit USAID and then shut it down. Many Americans may still have the idea that USAID is a government agency delivering relief at disaster site overseas. They may still remember the bags of rice or grain with the USAID logo on them, but that is not USAID. USAID is a key component of the U.S. government regime change operations worldwide. USAID spends billions of dollars every year propping up NGOs overseas that function as shadow governments, eating away at elected governments that the U.S. interventionists want to overthrow. Behind most U.S. foreign policy disasters overseas, you will see the fingerprints of USAID. From Ukraine to Georgia and far beyond, USAID is meddling in the internal affairs of foreign countries, something that would infuriate Americans if it was happening to us. Well, it has been happening to us, but Ron Paul is just talking on the surface level here about that, because it most definitely has been happening to us. Anyway, he's saying, when President Trump ordered a 90-day pause of USAID activities, we quickly learned just how pernicious the agency really is. U.S. media reported that Ukrainian press outlets were scrambling to keep their doors open when the U.S. dollar stopped flowing. It is reported that 90% of the media outlets are funded by the U.S. government. This means that there is virtually no independent media in Ukraine. Only fake news outlets willing to toe the U.S. administration's propaganda lie. Does anyone think these wholly U.S.-funded news outlets would ever publish a story that the U.S. government did not want published? Hello? I'm saying hello. Ron Paul didn't say that. This is plainly immoral, but it is also dangerous. Most U.S. mainstream media stories about Ukraine have their origin in a reporting of the local media, from battlefield news to casual to the state of the Ukraine military. The news from Ukraine is being written by the U.S. government-backed media outlets and then picked up by U.S. and other Western media. It is a closed propaganda loop that not only propagates that not only propagandizes the U.S. citizens, but also feeds false information into U.S. government outlets, such as Congress. Ron Paul continuing, he says, U.S. Congress that rely on mainstream U.S. media reporting for their news on Ukraine, no wonder so many in Washington continue to support this hopeless war. But USAID is not just the business of disinformation. Elon Musk recently reported a New York Post article on X reporting that USAID funneled $53 million to ECHO HEALTH Alliance to support GAIN of FUNCTION research on CORONAvirus at the WHANLAB. Did USAID help fund COVID? Americans have a right to know. In natural catastrophes overseas, Americans have shown themselves to be extremely generous. Private volunteer assistance organizations can most effectively assist victims of disasters worldwide. USAID needs a full and transparent audit. Americans deserve to know exactly what is being done in their name. Then the agency needs to be shuttered completely and its employees sent home. That would go a long way toward making America great again. Thanks for listening, Ron Paul says. Now, a side note, the CIA's deception regarding COVID, and then the number that comes after 18, put that together, origins become much clearer now. I'm sorry I have to be so oblique, but I have to be. All right. Now, Clandestine on X, a blue checkmark account, is talking about Project Predict. And he says, this is the USAID-funded project that led to the creation of SARS-CoV-2 COV-2, and the the thing that happened in 2020 that again starts with the C, and then you put the word PANDEMIC after it. This is what Elon was alluding to. So Project Predict, wholly funded by USAID. All right, now here's something that's very interesting for all of you. I'm sure that people know, and they've been shocked at the prices of everything in our grocery stores for a long time, but that eggs, just a carton of eggs, the most ridiculous prices. You think you're buying, top luxury items. That's what they made just regular common things like eggs and milk to be, right, in the grocery stores, and all of you know that live here in the United States. So listen to this. This is from Timothy Cashin, spelled Kashin, a checkmark account on X. He posted this yesterday, February 6, 2025. Arrested USDA Inspector Phyllis Fong, a 22-year deep state operative, is one of the key players behind the artificial inflation of poultry and egg prices in the U.S. She ordered the culling of millions of healthy birds using the fake excuse of mutating bird FLU. All right? But here's the truth. There was no PANDEMIC. Fong personally ordered mass bird exterminations in 2024, targeting farms in Colorado, Ohio, Arizona, Louisiana, and Nebraska. One case in Louisiana set the stage. A man who did not work on a poultry farm was allegedly diagnosed with HSN1 after, quote, finding dead birds in his yard. Just dead birds, allegedly. The CDC then invented a panic story claiming 66 people were infected. Sources say that number is entirely fabricated. Before the media even blasted this fake outbreak, Fong and Biden's corrupt FDA sent teams of inspectors in full hazmat suits. Yeah, that's nice optical, right? Yeah. To Nebraska, ordering the instant killing of 600,000 birds. The instant killing of 600,000 birds. The farm owner, who recently tested his flock and found zero signs of bird FLU, refused. He refused, but it didn't matter. Fong had already signed off on the order, threatening him with $4 billion in fines and prison time if he didn't comply. She thought she was untouchable. But when President Trump began cleansing the deep state in January, she refused to leave, publicly claiming Trump had no authority over federal watchdogs. The next day, karma struck. Security forced her out, delivering her straight to JAG investigators. Now you know why the price of eggs has shot through the roof. And I'll just say, when you see that line here that this Twitter post said, delivering her straight to JAG investigators, JAG, that means a trip to the spa in CUBA for a nice TRIBUNAL. And those are capital crimes. So I wanted to talk more about things, but I think this clip is long enough. I'm going to leave this here. I'm really going to put the part 2 about the LA fires up because of the reasons that I stated in the beginning of this clip. I really ask you to please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you, and it really helps me. I've been beyond shadow banned, as have many. I'm not whining about it. It's just the way that it has been. If you tell the truth, that's just what's been happening. But I will never stop. I'll never be stopped. And so much good is happening. I'm going to end my clip, like I always do, with a prayer in Sanskrit and Telugu. And what I'm saying is, God bless all beings in all worlds. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Yes, peace, peace, peace. It all begins with inner peace. No matter what's going on from what we term the outside world, we cannot have peace in what is termed the outside world if we don't have inner peace. It doesn't work that way. So no matter what the roller coastering is, and right now life is just very wild and chaotic seeming, isn't it? We're in huge change for the better. But just like a woman giving birth, there are labor pains. There's a lot of mess. It's generally never easy, but it's so worthy. It is so worthy. The best is yet to come. God bless you and yours. I'm saying that with all of my heart. I'm sending huge love to you and yours. I will see you when I see you, and bye-bye for now.